So while the rest of y'all celebrated the 4th of July the traditional American way, stuffing your faces and blowing stuff up, I had to celebrate American excellence watching movies. Mainly because I didn't have anyone to eat with, and my court order won't allow me anywhere near explosives for the foreseeable century. Unfortunately, Season 3 of The Witcher has been taken over by a ruthless creature known as the North American blue-haired land whale. It's mean, hates its daddy, and sadly, not endangered. But boobies and monsters sure are. So I switched from The Witcher to World War II flicks. Because let's face it, is there anything more American than watching us kill Germans on the 4th of July? Apparently so, because I watched Harold Zart's, The 12th Man, a real-life, honest-to-Jesus, Norwegian, yeah, I know, Norway? Historical biopic about Jan Baalsrud, Norway's own Chad Thundercock, patron saint of ass-kicking.
Big cock.
This stuff actually happened, and unless you lived in Norway, friggin' Norway, you probably didn't learn any of this in history class. Made me almost reconsider the general inferiority of the European male. Back in World War II, they were kicking ass like the rest of us. At least Jan Baalsrud was. I'm calling him Jan because, you know, Baalsrud. Reminds me too much of the time when old Paul Rudd went out onto the streets cruising for peeps debating to sing bros. I forgive you, Paul, but don't ever let it happen again.
Slap at the bass, man.
So yeah, most of Europe and Norway, Norway? Are taken over by the Germans in World War II. England, in a desperate effort to buy some time until we came along and saved their asses, sends a crack team of highly trained commandos into Norway, behind enemy lines to disrupt, harass, and destroy the enemy. Unfortunately, they could only find 12 Norwegians. Hey man, it's Norway. I think that was like half of the population. So, in the winter of 1943, Jan and 11 of his boys infiltrate Norway. Yeah, Norway. By boat. You heard me. Not airplane in the dark of night. A boat. Probably the dumbest idea since Poland charged the German tanks on horseback. I mean, didn't anyone see the guns of Navarone?
Carl Foreman's The Guns of Navarone.
You never go
Full retard.
and you never ever take on the Germans via boat.
What do you mean?
Das Boot, baby. The whole mission never stood a chance. They got ambushed before they hit the shore. The commandos were forced to dive into the freezing-ass water just to make it to the beach. After a fierce gun battle, 11 were captured. All but badass thundercockin' extraordinaire, Jan Balls... whatever. The 12th man. He somehow manages to dive into the Bjork, or fjord, an ice lake, or something, armed with just a pistol, and dives into more freezing water and barely survives. Oh, and I left out the best part. During the shootout with the Jan gets his friggin' toe blown off. Now, with a missing boot and a toe rotting off from gangrene, cold and hungry, his only chance for survival is to make it all the way across sub-zero Norway. Yeah, friggin' Norway. And Finland to neutral Sweden. All the while, he's being pursued by the Krauts, led by that cat from Mission Impossible 3?
Hello there.
Sounds crazy, huh? Well, who makes old Tom Cruise look like a bitch?
You complete me.
Jan's balls. Whatever. First off, he's not just fighting the Germans. Jan's fighting the harsh, icy landscape of Norway. The whole country looks like territory you'd find north of the wall on planet Skyrim. Ungodly and unforgiving and full of sympathizers. The worst kind of sympathizers. You got snow blindness, avalanches, even some ornery reindeer. The whole time, Jan doesn't cry. He doesn't talk about his feelings. He doesn't wait for some girl boss to save him. He sacks up and legs it for the border, riddled with gangrene and fever, one step ahead of the Krauts. In the process, word spreads across the land, uniting and rallying the demoralized, if not slightly incompetent, people of Norway. I mean, at one point, they can't find the log they hid a fever-ridden Jan under. No wonder they fell to the Germans. The acting standout, Jonathan Rhys-Meyer, who plays the head, leading his troops in a deadly game of cat and mouse with Jan, is officially forgiven for having a hyphen in his last name. Faced with death before honor, his stakes are just as high as Jan's. Oh, he's a true bastard, but played pitch perfect. Jan is played by some guy I've never heard of named Thomas Gulstad. I'm not sure why Hollywood hasn't come knocking on this dude's door. Much has been made about the digital effects on All Quiet on the Western Front. It took Jan like 2 months to escape and evade. Gulstad, the Marlon Brando of Norway, is all but unrecognizable as Jan. He stumbles, crawls, and gets dragged, starved and frozen across 2 countries. We need you across the pond, my son. The movie opens up with a warning. The most unreal parts of the story are real. Truer words were never spoken. To this day, Jan Baalsrud is a national hero in Norway. They follow his trek across the country every July for like an entire week. Even got a statue of him. Jan Baalsrud definitely would have made a damn fine American. So God bless America. And Norway. Final tally. We got toe amputation, explosions, and thank the sweet baby Jesus. Reindeer races. Downsides. Fjords. Fjords? Criminal lack of Scandinavian boobage.
Horseshit.
And sadly, the mandatory cliched dancing European dream sequence. We're given the 12th man 4 out of 5 faces. Get faced.